Howdy, Immortallium here. I decided that since I'm back from hiatus now, that one of the first things I should do is to do a manga tour. You know, just to let people know how my manga collection has changed during the hiatus. So let's quickly go and do that. So first off, let's focus on this shelf right here. As I mentioned in the last video I did, the introduction video, I have a blog now, called Immortalliumblog.com, and one of the posts I did was about how I order my manga, you know, what order to go in, etc, etc. To summarize quickly, I do English publisher first, followed by the demographic, you know, like shonen, shoujo, etc, etc. And then the date of release in Japan, preferably of the chapter, but failing that I do the tankobon instead. So you can see up here, this is my Dark Horse manga, very short shonen section right over there, and then we get a nice long seinen section, followed by shoujo, etc, etc. Then we have our yen press, which again follows a very similar pattern to Dark Horse, except a considerably larger josei section, which is fantastic. You know, as I mentioned before, I think josei is an underappreciated demographic. After that, we have kind of a collection of miscellaneous publishers, you know, stuff from Fantagraphics, from Drawn and Quarterly, from some other publishers, even DC, as you can see, some DC Comics release, bot manga. After that, we got a my very small light novel collection, which is a shame that it's so small at this point still, but I might explain that a bit more in a little bit as to why I haven't expanded it as much. After that, we got the shonen section of Viz Media, so Shonen Jump, to be more specific. Excluding, of course, that. That is an original magazine from Shonen Jump, a Japanese magazine. So that's the one exception to that. But beyond that, as you can tell, is just in order of when they were released. It's a decent little collection of Shonen Jump, I think. Got a few on this side as well. And then, oh, that's pretty dark. Not sure if you guys can actually see that, but that's just the end of Bakuman, and it's a Japanese copy of a volume from Bakuman and the 3 Nisekoi volumes, which I actually bought from BDT 87, you know, Ben. Anyway, after that, and I'll have to explain this a bit, this is Shonen Jump Advance. So, as I mentioned in my blog post, I mentioned that the one exception is when a publisher actually has imprints, and I tend to go off of those. Essentially, it's like kind of a mini publishing kind of thing. So, as you can see, this is all my Shonen Jump Advanced. As you can tell, Hunter x Hunter makes up a very large amount of this, although to be fair, Claymore gives it quite a run for its money. So again, that's my Shonen Jump Advanced. At the bottom shelf I have some Tokyo Pop, which I believe when I started collecting manga, I believe Tokyo Pop, they might have been like going out of business, or maybe they were out of business, I don't know. So basically I don't buy any Tokyo Pop stuff unless I can get the whole thing at once, which is why I have such a small Tokyo Pop collection. But basically, like, I don't buy them like a volume at a time. Now I know Tokyo Pop is back now, but I don't think they've licensed anything they used to have. I believe it's newer stuff. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be buying anything from them too soon. After that, so this is my stuff to read. So you can see the Black Lagoon. What's this now? It's Kimagure Orange Road. Isn't that interesting? That was released by Digital Manga Publishing through Kickstarter, and there's been a lot of trials and tribulations when it comes to those Kickstarters from them. I believe this took maybe 2 years to arrive. I could be wrong on that. That's just me getting out of my head, but it's very easy to probably figure out how long it's been, but it took absolute ages. After that, this is my stuff I have to read. I'm actually in the process of reading Ghost in the Shell 1.5 right now, which I'm starting to regret a bit, not because it's not particularly good or anything, but I've had this weird feeling that I was meant to read 2.0 first, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you read 2.0 before reading 1.5? But I just came across a couple of things that seem to imply that the reading order was 1, 2, and then 1.5. I don't know. Anyway, so that's all the stuff I have to read in the future. After that, this will take a bit of explaining over here. So this is Nausicaa, the 2 volumes of Nausicaa I've read. I have the other 5 volumes of Nausicaa, but those are the 2 that I've read so far. And when it comes to something like Nausicaa, which was published in Animage, which isn't a typical manga magazine, it's more like a anime/manga hobby magazine, there's no specific demographic associated with that. So it's just kind of, I decided to put it where I feel. And in my head, it kind of feels like a bit of a blend of like shonen, shoujo, seinen, which I know is pretty much all the demographics. All you're leaving out is josei and kodomo. But what can you do? It's just kind of my own thought. So for the moment, that's where it is. After that, we got my shoujo beat, which is, you know, a decent little section. It's not extensive by any means, but I think it's a decent little section. And of course, the one exception to that is here. So this is it's from BL, but it's a yaoi manga. Quite strong. You see all the goods in it. If you want to see my reaction to reading that, I believe it was one of my manga marathons. I can't remember which one specifically, but it was certainly one of them. And yeah, I had a very funny, apparently, reaction to reading that yaoi manga. And I believe after that, that's all the manga that's in here. My regular books are back there. I have some, like that's what I'm reading for the moment, and I have a couple of other things. But wait, there's more. Aha! So this room should look a little familiar to you guys. So this is where I recorded my introduction video. This is the desk, this is the seat, whatever. You guys are smart. You know that this is the place. So I may as well, since I'm in here now, just show off this room a bit. This is a pretty new room. Obviously this is just some stuff that are up on the wall, just to kind of give it a bit of space. This is what you guys don't see, which is my camera stand, the lights that I have. Who knew there'd be so much light? And then some stuff like shields and, oh boy, look at this. Oh, look at all this equipment, huh? Anyway, let's actually get to the manga. So over here is the Kodansha Comics manga that I have, as well as actually something else, but let's start off with that. So this is my Kodansha Comics, with the one exception being I believe this is a Czech copy of the volume 1 of Attack on Titan that my mother bought for me when she and my sister went to Prague. Beyond that, this is my other Kodansha Comics stuff. After that, my 7 Seas stuff, which at the moment 7 Seas only consists of Yuri manga from Milk Morinaga, Kiss of Size and Cherry Blossom Pink, which is a pretty good manga, and Girlfriends, which is one of my favorite manga of all time. After that, we got stuff from Vertical. This is obviously just like the Terra, Gundam, blah blah blah. Some really good stuff from Vertical. Like, I would highly recommend, if you want kind of more different manga in general, I'd highly recommend picking up manga from Vertical. A lot of their stuff is really, really good. And I know this is a manga video, but I may as well just quickly show off my graphic novel, like Western comics section of graphic novels. It's not like the most comprehensive thing. The biggest thing, of course, is actually the stuff from Avatar and Legend of Korra, of which I'm a big fan. Anyway, back to over here. So, and this is something that's a little different from last time, and that is I've decided to actually dedicate shelves to Osamu Tezuka. So instead of like having my Osamu Tezuka collection spread out like through Dark Horse, through Vertical, blah blah blah, digital manga publishing, I decided instead to put them all together because I just think it's worth doing that. So and of course I've ordered it all in terms of just when they were published. So we have like his earliest work over here, progressing throughout all of here, and then the final shelf, of course, down here. Ending off on Ludwig B, which is actually a manga he couldn't complete because he died, which is a shame because Ludwig B was a really good manga. After that, we got my Viz kind of seinen titles here, which mostly made up of signature, like their signature releases, but we got a couple of different stuff as well. And then finally, again, another Viz shelf. We got the Shonen Sunday stuff as well as a couple of different stuff. So we have some Drifting Classroom, which I believe they re-released. We have Ranma Half, which is a fantastic series, really, really funny. I have yet to finish it, but it's so good. I'd highly recommend it. And sorry, that was my butt hitting the shield behind me. We got some Case Closed. Etc. Case cross game, and I'll just move some of these wires out of the way. And then I have to explain some of this stuff because this is not Shonen Sunday, so it's just some other like shonen manga that Viz have released, but kind of its own section. And then finally kind of kids stuff down here, Pokemon, Zelda, which I got in box sets, and to be honest I wasn't particularly taken with them, but they're worth keeping. So anyway, that was my kind of manga tour. Ooh, sorry, light's really bad over there. Let me just, yeah, that's much better. Okay, so that was my manga tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm really happy to have come back to this channel. I know I was gone for a really, really, really long time, and it's so good to finally be back. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.